guys, welcome back to the Chaotic Kids channel, where I'm Michelle, making fantasies come true one story at a time, and today we're taking a break from making fantasies come true with my own writing, and instead we are going to be doing a reading vlog. I like to do these videos every other week. I typically record these videos on Saturday, so Saturday are kind of my established Sabbath day, so if you guys do not know, I'm Catholic. And I like to try to keep Saturdays and possibly Sundays, depending on if I kept Saturday not working and stuff. I don't include recording videos in the same thing. I don't know why, it just happens. But yeah, so on Saturdays, I typically like to do a reading session. I'm currently in the middle of reading 6 different books. Well, technically 2 of them I haven't started yet. But I do consider them part of the lineup of books that I'm reading. I think there's 6 of them. No, there's 7 of them instead, so that's lovely. But so there are 2, well, I don't know how to describe these books, so I'm just going to show you them. So the first book is Dreaming About the Boy Next Door by Sarah Sutton. I really am enjoying this book. I'm about halfway through it, roughly. Really enjoying it. It's a sweet romance book. I have previously read her Teaching the Teacher's Pet book, which is book 1 in this Most Likely To series. I really enjoyed it. I'm planning on continuing on with the series, which is very, very rare for me. I typically don't continue on reading series. If I do, it means that I really enjoy the writing of the author and also enjoy the storyline, and it typically it always revolves around romance. I am a girl after all, and I feel like all girls prefer romance. I'm not just like, it's not just I don't read just strictly romance, like just romance books. Sometimes I do read fantasy books. I do have a science fiction book in here, which is Brandon Sanderson's Mistborn. This is one of the books that I have not started reading yet. Planning on reading it mostly because I'm somebody who has multiple personalities, and in my system there are male alters, and when we're reading a whole bunch of romance books or also reading a whole bunch of Christian books, they kind of get a little irritated with me, strictly because I am focusing my sole attention on romance and Christian books. They're like, I want to read something that's not girly, I guess is the best way to put it. So yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Another book that we have not started reading yet is The Princess Swap. This is by Kim Busing, I don't know. This one is a middle grade book, or I believe it's a middle grade book at least. Basically switching the stories from Snow White and Sleeping Beauty. I was going to say Cinderella, but no. It's the story of Sleeping Beauty and Snow White getting switched. So Snow White is now with the dragon and Sleeping Beauty's with the 7 dwarfs. Maybe start that one today. I don't know. Depends on my mood and stuff. A book that I've been working through that is a very intense book to read because it's a mental health book is Complex PTSD from Surviving to Thriving. This is by Pete Walker. An intense book. The reason I'm reading it is because I am diagnosed with complex PTSD, so it's just something I would like to learn and discover more about. I am also journaling about that. I usually typically watch the YouTube video of someone reading it to me. Then I'll do journaling notes and stuff like that, and then send that to my therapist to learn and stuff. Then I'm reading 2 Christian books right now. One of them is Breathe Deeply. This is a book about the joyful mysteries of the Rosary. It's by Allison Ramirez. She has a whole invitation series dissecting each of the mysteries / rosaries each of the mysteries in the Rosary. Then also breaking down what each of the decades is meant for. So the Annunciation, how to, I guess, pray it correctly. Not pray it correctly, but dissecting down what you're supposed to be thinking about during each decade kind of thing. And then the other book, the final book that I'm trying to read through is A Light in the Shadow by Anna something. This is a memoir about her father's life, who died of cancer. I think he died of cancer. Yeah, he died of cancer, and just how he was I would essentially say he was the rock in the family, that kept everything going. So yeah, those are the 7 books I'm reading. Currently only reading 4 of them. I do think I'll start another one today. I don't know. It depends on my mood. But like I said, I also, like I told you guys this in the wrap-up video for May, I have been finding, okay, so I bought Disney Plus and a Hulu bundle, and I've been so consumed with watching it. It's ridiculous. Like, all I want to do is watch Hulu or Disney Plus. I recently finished the Apothecary Diaries on there, or as much as Disney had on it. Well, I guess technically Hulu. But as much as Hulu had, only had season 1. So I am holding myself back from buying, I think it's called a Crunchyroll, subscription, which basically isn't on all anime place, and I'm like holding myself back from that. So I'm going to be fighting today, not wanting to watch all of the stuff that I'm watching on Hulu and Disney. So today, again, reading day, that is the game plan. I'm going to take a little bit of a break, decide what I'm going to be reading first. I do have like a little checklist, I guess, of all the books that I'm wanting to read. Well, all the books on the list. Typically I read the section for I read a book for 30 minutes, then either do a journaling session or just take a break. Yeah, but I'm gonna take a little break, decide what I'm gonna be reading first, and kind of lay out the land of how things are gonna go. So I will be back in a little bit. Bye. Okay, I just realized there's another book that I need to read. Well, this isn't really a book, it's more of a pamphlet. But I need to read The Total Consecration to the Immaculate. I'm on day 6 of this. This is a 33-day program for Catholics, or anybody really, to consecrate our life to the Blessed Virgin Mary. Mary is someone who's very dear to my heart. I haven't really been fully diving into my full Christian routine lately. I've really, like I said, been focusing so much on Hulu and Disney that I've just fallen behind on this. So I'm like, I need to get back into doing my Catholic Christian stuff. But I'm on day 6. I've been doing this every single day that I need to. But I'm going to start off the day with reading this. Reading/listening to Gabriel Castillo, I believe is his last name. He does a 33-day program. Like he had a live stream of each of the days. He reads it, he does the prayers, and then he also does like a 5-minute conversation afterwards. So I'm wanting to do that this morning. And also with this, I have a notebook along with it. This is just one of my cheap ones that I got from Dollar General. I typically like to have I like to have like a section where some notes I'm taking from the reading, and then also have a prayer to go along with it. I didn't do that yesterday because I was, again, consumed by Disney Plus. So I'm like, I need to get better, and what better way to do it than start in the morning? So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. I will see you guys in like 10-15 minutes and start doing it. Right now it is currently 9:52. It's currently 9:52, so I will see you guys in a little bit, okay? Bye. Okay guys, so I just got done doing day 6 of the Total Consecration to the Immaculate. Today we were talking all about grace. Tomorrow we'll also be talking about grace, because Mary is the mediatrix of grace. But basically what I learned from this is kind of things that I already knew, but it's good to be reinforced and continue to hear these elements of life kind of thing, especially with my Catholic faith. But so with grace, it's basically, how I take it is like, God wants to forgive everybody because he is our caring and loving Father. And, you know, he can't do that unless we ask for his forgiveness, which he'll give us grace. And Mary is somebody who prays on our behalf, if that makes sense. Like, it's, like, we have to have a relationship with God before we can speak to him, you know? Like, it's not like we're going to go straight up to God and be like, hey, this, and this needs to happen kind of thing. Even though God probably still won't do it, or if he does, it'll be on his own terms, not on your terms. But through Mary, you, like, I wouldn't say get a little bonus, but, like, she will help you too, kind of thing. But yeah, now I'm moving into the I can't breathe deeply. This is the one about the joyful mysteries. I am going into the first mystery, which is the Annunciation, which is basically Mary saying yes to giving birth, like being the mother of Jesus. And it's important to note that when I read this on the 16th, which I don't know if I did a video on that or not, but so it was important to note that yes, this is known as the joyful mysteries, but not all the mysteries are super joyful. Well, they are joyful in some aspects, but, like, there's also the underlying, like, vulnerability and sacrificing that Mary is doing through each of these mysteries. And it's important to know, like, with the Annunciation, like, yes, she's saying yes to God and being the mother of the world, pretty much. But it's important to note that, like, she also is doing a lot of sacrificing, because back in that time, like, she was unmarried. I don't even think she had a man in her life, but even then, like, a man in her life, unless you're married, like, it's not known as, like, the right thing to do, I guess is the right way to put it. But, like, her being the mother of God, not having a husband, not, like, it was just unknown. Like, it was taboo and probably would have resulted in her death and the death of Jesus. But, you know, with Joseph and his yes, it does work out for them in the end, you know? But it's just important to remember, like, through every yes that Mary said, every commitment that she did, there was also a bunch of sacrifice. So no matter if you think your life is going to be, like, no matter how many times you say yes, there's also going to be that sacrifice that you have to put up with, which is something important to think about. But now I'm going to get into a little more in-depth thing, I would think. I don't know. Based on what I see off the very first page of what the Annunciation has, it's basically the readings for it. Yeah, the readings for it, a reflection, and stuff like that. So I don't know. We'll just see what's all going to get into it. So I'll be back in a little bit, and we'll talk about the Annunciation some more, okay? So I'll see you guys in a little bit. Bye! Hey guys, it's about 11:10 or something like that. I don't know. I got done reading the Annunciation part of Breathe Deeply. Typically with this, like with my Catholic and Christian books, I typically like to do some journaling with it. Not necessarily journaling if it's like a memoir or something, just more like taking notes of things I thought of. With this one, I took more notes because it's more of a learning thing, I guess. But I'm sure you guys can tell right now, like, I just don't have the energy, to be present, I guess, is the best way I can put it. I'm feeling really, really, I guess, I don't want to say ill, because this doesn't feel like illness. It just feels like my body is working through trying to figure out who I am. I don't know what happened. I was halfway reading this book and halfway, like, zoning out, which happens, like, it happened during, like, the second part of it, I guess, whenever it was more talking, like, more of a, I don't want to say more personal, but, like, how, Allison talks about, like, doing the prayers and stuff, which I did find somewhat, I don't know how to put it, because words aren't coming to me, but I did find it interesting, but, like, at the same point, I wasn't there in the moment, so it was hard to be like, I was there in the moment, I was understanding stuff, and it was just not happening. So I think that's the best sign to just take a break for right now. I am going to head downstairs, eat some lunch, whatever meal I'm eating. I think it's lunch right now. Then come back. I don't know. Like I said, I'm just not here. And it hurts when I'm like this. That hurts, like, physically. It just hurts mentally because I just feel drained and feel like I got punched in the face. So, yeah, fun times. I'll talk to you guys whenever I feel better, or if I'm just gonna push through it, which I don't think is gonna happen. I think if I get done eating and don't feel good, I'll just sit upstairs and watch YouTube. I'll be lucky if I don't go into bed. So, yeah. I will talk to you guys later, okay? Bye. Hey guys, so it's about 1:45 right now. I'm feeling better now, so I am getting back into reading and stuff. I did do a journal entry before I came back on here. It was about the Breathe Deeply section and what I read about. And I will say I didn't realize whenever I first read it, I was like, I didn't realize that what the angel Gabriel said to Mary, like, Hail, full of grace, the Lord is with you. I didn't realize that was part of, like, when I read that, I was like, oh, that sounds like the Hail Marys. And I didn't realize that's where it came from. And, like, I did this journaling session, I was like, I feel as if I was raised Catholic, like, with the Catholic general beliefs, but I didn't really become fully Catholic until I started doing the Bible in a year, until, like, I met those ladies at my local place. Yeah, I felt Catholic, but I wasn't truly Catholic, if that makes sense. And maybe that's why I feel such a calling to becoming a religious sister. So, I don't know. It's interesting to think about. Now, what am I going to do? I have no idea. I'm going to continue reading. I think I am going to go into Dreaming About the Boy Next Door. I think this will be a nice little break. But then again, I'm like, I kind of need to get back into the religious sense. But I'm like, no. I think I'll read A Light in the Shadow after I get done with the 30 minutes of reading for Dreaming About the Boy Next Door. So I am going to do that. I will see you in 30 minutes, okay? Bye! Hey guys, just got done doing my 30 minutes of reading about Dreaming About the Boy Next Door. I only read 2 chapters today. Sorry, I'm still not feeling it today. I'm now starting to get a headache. I just don't feel it. And it's worse is that I cried during this book, these last 2 chapter readings. And it's not necessarily anything, like, incredibly sad, you know? It's just, I need to cry. I need to watch some, like, but sad show just to make me feel better. Because I'm really not feeling good right now. But yeah, I read it. It was a good read. It was hard to read some of it because I was crying. But, you know, it was good. I think I'm actually going to stop recording today. I think I might come back on tomorrow and see if I do more reading tomorrow. But for right now, I just want to watch some shows that have nothing to do with reading or literature or anything like that. Just watch random TV shows on Hulu and Disney. Yeah, so I will see you guys later, okay? Bye. Hey guys, today is May 31st. We're going to be doing some more reading today. Do I know how well today's gonna go for reading-wise? Not entirely sure. So yesterday you guys knew that we were kind of like kind of, I don't want to say in and out of consciousness, but it kind of felt like it. Like, so around 11, we were starting to feel dizzy. We then went to just eat and rest a little bit. Then we came back to read Dreaming About the Boy Next Door. We did that. Then we felt woozy again, so we just stopped for the day. But then whenever we went to church, so we typically, church starts at 7 o'clock in the evening, whatever you want to call it. Church starts at 7, and I usually go there at 6, so then I can have 30 minutes, mostly to myself, to just sit in front of the Blessed Sacrament, Blessed Eucharist. Sometimes I do confession, but for some reason yesterday I didn't. And I think it was because, subconsciously I knew I was going to be having problems, and I did have problems. I didn't even make it to the part where we would pray the Rosary, so that happens usually at, 6:30ish. So we usually pray a Rosary, the whole congregation says a Rosary at 6:30, and I usually sit there and pray it with everybody. But I just was not feeling good. It was not a good time. I ended up leaving church, not even before church started, and it was just not a good day. Yeah, so we're gonna try again today. Not going to mass, but we will plan on sitting in front of the Blessed Sacrament again, just talking with God, seeing what's going on, kind of thing. But I think it was just expected to happen. Because we've been doing fairly good, but I guess last week we didn't go either, so I don't know. Yeah, so it's just been a little rough. But today we're doing a reading day again. We already did day 7 of the Total Consecration to the Immaculate. It was fine. We learned about the mediatrix of grace, Mary being the mediatrix of grace. I'm still not feeling 100%, which is just disappointing. I don't know, but I always try to be 100% okay all the time, but it's just not happening today. But I am going to probably finish watching this video I'm on, and then we'll read Breathe Deeply, the one about the joyful mysteries. We'll do the visitation section today. Hopefully it'll go better than yesterday. I don't know, that's all I can hope for. But I will talk to you guys later, okay? Bye. Hey guys, it's about 10:40 right now. I just got done doing a brief reading Breathe Deeply, and also doing a journaling session on the visitation section of the section of the book. I'm about halfway through the book. But so what Allison Ramirez is the author. What Allison does in this book is she breaks down each of the 5 mysteries of the joyful mysteries, or I don't know what they're technically called. No, they are the mysteries. So yeah. So out of the joyful rosary, she breaks down each of the mysteries. I was doing the visitation today, and Allison did a really good job of relating her a very influential moment where she had a visitation, pretty much. It was basically her proposal. But I was relating it to myself, and I was like, okay, I've never had a significant other. I've never really even dated anybody. Don't really ever have plans to. I guess that's why I want to become a sister. Well, not the reason why, but I just don't have any of that relationship after seeing a long person. It's been a long time since you've seen this person, But I did relate it to whenever I first got back into joining my faith again and going to church and things like that. So, if you guys do not know, I'm somebody who was born and raised Catholic. I went to all the confirmation class, I did all my, I guess, and I don't know what to say, my beginning classes. I did CCD, I got confirmed, I got baptized, I had my first Holy Communion, kind of did all the basics. I don't know how to classify it, but doing all the things that you can do while you're young, And then I was like, okay. Well, so that was how I started off. Then I ended up becoming a server. Actually, everybody in my church, because it's such a small community, becomes a server at the age of like once you hit. I don't remember what grade it was. I think I've been serving since second grade, or I was serving since second grade. So second grade till senior year of high school. And so I was praying I was at church serving mass every single Saturday pretty much on my own. I talked about this with my therapist. I was like, it became very much like a dance of like, this is how everything's supposed to flow. The servers are kind of supposed to be there, but yet you're not supposed to see them, you know? Kind of how I envisioned like ladies in the old times, like you're supposed to be seen but never heard kind of thing. And so I was like, that's just how I was, you know, like I was doing all this work but not wanting to be seen kind of thing. So I got a little, I don't know, like I was kind of, I don't want to say I was done with my faith, but after high school, I definitely became like very distant from my faith. Like I think I still prayed like an evening prayer, like not really an evening prayer like I do now, but like every night I'd go to bed, I'd be like, hey, thank you God for today kind of thing. Never really going too in depth with it, but just saying like, thank you God. And then I ended up not being participating in the masses for 5 years. And during that 5 years, my mom passed away. And I realized like how like bad I feel about that. Like, so when my mom died, I was 22 and I was going through all my conversion disorder. I was going through the beginning initial steps of discovering I was a system. And I realized like how sad it was that I never got to like be up front with my family as we were saying goodbye to mom, if that makes sense. Like I went to what was the cry room because I didn't want people to perceive me if I were to have a spell. Because it's bad enough if I have a spell, I'm like completely out of it, but it's just like I didn't want people to perceive me and worry about me kind of thing. Because I wanted this day to be about mom, but I'm like, I don't feel like I respected that. Like, I don't think I respected the fact that I was respecting mom. Yeah, so it's just a little hard. But, then, I believe it was last year, maybe, yeah, it was last year, I went to an adoration, a Eucharistic adoration, and it was so, like, I went to confession with a priest, and that was the first time, like, I, like it like lit up inside me. Like I would relate it to like the visitation, like you just are filled with so much joy and stuff, and that's how I felt, and it was so beautiful, and that's kind of what got me back into it. So yeah, it's nice to connect that together. But yeah, I enjoyed reading it. I enjoyed listening. I didn't listen to anything. I enjoyed hearing all the reflections and stuff, and how to connect everything that's going on with Mary and related to your own personal life and stuff. Now I am going to jump back into Dreaming About the Boy Next Door. I'm going to reread chapters 16 and 17 because I tried to read it yesterday. Wasn't a real good headspace. So I'm going to reread those two. I might even read for an hour in this book. Not really sure. We'll see how things go. But yeah, going to jump into Dreaming About the Boy Next Door. So I'll see you guys later, okay? Bye. Okay, guys, so I just got done doing like 45 to an hour worth of reading for Dreaming About the Boy Next Door. I cried. I cried during this part. I tried to play it off that I wasn't feeling good yesterday. No, I cried, and I'm okay with that. I'm at this point in the book, which I'm pretty sure is like the climax, or reaching the climax, or like the Act 3 breakup, I think is what it's called. But things are hitting the fan, and it's just like, ooh, this makes me sad, because like this one thing happened, And then I'm like, oh no, there's like these 3 other things that I know that need to happen. And I'm like, I don't want it to happen, but I know I want it to happen at the same point. But it was just nice. And also crying just makes me feel better sometimes. And I typically don't try to cry a lot. But when I'm reading books or watching a movie or something like that, I do cry a lot. But it was nice. I am now gonna go head down to eat. I also need to go see my grandma, my dad, and also go pray a rosary at the cemetery with my mom, or for my mom. Then I'll come back and hopefully read some more. I'm not sure if I'll read more Dreaming About the Boy Next Door, picking up a different book. I'm not entirely sure. We'll see. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. I will see you guys later, okay? Bye. Hey guys, I didn't come on after I, left for lunch. I continued reading because I was gonna go see my grandma and my dad. But they were both not home, and I was just like, well, I wasn't gonna stay out in the heat. I did pray a rosary at the cemetery, but I was just like, oh, I'm gonna come back home. Tried watching a video, and I was like, I just want to read. So I just continued reading the books that I was reading. Well, I did read a different book. I first started off with A Light in the Shadows. I did cry during this book, but it's just because, the author of the story's dad is kind of deteriorating, and at the end at the end of what I was reading, it was talking about how, whenever people die or are close to death, like, especially in, like, circumstances like what's going on in this story, well, this memoir, that people, like, if they start seeing heaven and, like, kind of come in and out of consciousness with heaven and reality, it means that they're close to death. And I don't think I've ever had an experience with someone doing that. Yeah, so I don't, like, and it sounds weird to say, but, like, I don't want to experience that. Because I feel like that is literally, like, I haven't finished this, like, the whole experience with that, but I'm like, I don't know how I would feel about that. You know, because I feel like it would be, like, almost someone toying with you. But it's not toying, it's like showing you that, yes, God is real and heaven is real. But I don't know. Especially someone you loved, I would be like, I don't know how I'd feel about that. But then I also continued reading Dreaming About the Boy Next Door. I'm on chapter 24 of it. I'm really enjoying this book. And it's kind of it almost makes me a little sad knowing that I'm like coming to the end of the story. But I'm like, there's still so much drama left to happen. But you know, I'm gonna continue reading it. But it's just, I don't know, like the drama, I'm just like, I want the drama, but at the same point I don't, because it's gonna hurt me, like hurt my emotions. But I'm like, no story is just all happiness. And like, I think I told you guys, like, the beginning, like, I cried at my first time reading chapters 16 and 17. And, you know, I'm still crying during it. Not these times, well, I wouldn't say they're necessarily happy tears either. But I'm just crying during the book. I just need my emotions to be expressed. And I always put myself in this perspective of the character that I'm reading about. So I'm like, literally, I don't know what it's called. Like, I'm putting myself in that situation being like, man, this is terrible. But I also go into, like, author brain and kind of figure out how things are going to end. And I'm like, this character just needs to stop being a little pansy and just confess. And it's just all about, like, emotion. Not about emotions, but so much teenage problems. But that doesn't mean I don't love the book anyways. But yeah, I think I'm going to be calling today's video done here. I really enjoyed reading. I'm glad I took 2 days to read the books that I wanted to read today. I didn't finish any books. I didn't really expect to. But yeah, I had fun. So I did a lot of reading and Dreaming About the Boy Next Door. I read a lot of Breathe Deeply. And I did a little bit of reading in A Light in the Shadow. I also did my total consecration to the Immaculate for the last 2 days, which I've been consistently doing that. Yeah, I didn't get to the rest of my books on the list, which are those books back there. But we'll just see when I have time to read them next. But yeah, I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. If you guys want to see more reading content from me, I try to post it every other week, and record reading videos every other week. So every other week you can expect them from me. If you guys have any book recommendations for me, I can maybe see if I'd be interested. I do have a couple books up there that I need to finish reading or get started reading with before I buy any new ones. But I am looking into buying A Liar in the Hollow Court, I believe is what it's called. It's the latest Bethany Atazadeh book. I'm interested in buying that one. I don't know if it's technically out yet, but I want to read Sarah Cannon's A Mirror in Shadows. Why can't I think of the title of the book? I'm gonna read Sarah Cannon's latest book and then read my other books as well. But yeah, I had fun. I will see you guys next time, and remember to keep making fantasies come true, one story at a time, okay? And I'll see you guys later. Bye!